Alright lads, so today is currently the 24th of December, and that means tomorrow is Christmas, but most importantly, we have the Bankai live stream where we're going to get the end of year character reveals, and also some more exciting reveals, maybe stuff that we don't even know of. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about the dev comments that was released this morning. We have a lot of stuff to talk about today. I believe I'm actually triple uploading. The second video is going to be the post-election video, because that is releasing a day early, and then we also have a trailer breakdown for the Fowls Debut anime. I spent a lot of hours in that video, so I would appreciate if you'd like to check it out in around 8 or so hours time when that video does go live. That said though, let's talk about this month's dev comments. Comments that are actually very exciting. Honestly, this looks great. This is another like very good dev comment that we got like back to back. I think last month was kind of disappointing, or the month before that, but the last like 4 or so months of these dev comments have actually been very insightful, and I really do appreciate they are continue to do stuff like this. So that said, let's jump straight into it, starting with dev comment number 1, bonus abilities. This was kind of scary reading this, I'm not going to lie, so let me quickly go read it right now. So it says, we plan to add new bonus abilities at the end of December. The plan is to add 3 types of bonus abilities, and we'll be able to notify you of the details soon. We also plan to give you a present of different materials that will allow you to strengthen your characters and change their bonus abilities, and we'll reveal more details about it during the live stream tomorrow, so don't miss it. This was scary to read, because when I first saw that, I was assuming T30 characters, or, you know, T30 link source, because that was something that was data mined. We did talk about that last week. I don't necessarily think this is confirming T30 at the end of the month. The way they've worded it is just that we'll still have 2 T20 characters, but now they're adding new skills to get on your characters, and I'm very curious to see what those 3 skills are going to be. I don't think it's going to be Havoc. I don't think it's going to be Frenzy or Flurry. I don't know what it's going to be. It could be Guard Break. It could be... Guard Break would be actually very huge. Really huge, actually, for NAD characters. I really have no idea what they're going to do with this. Obviously, I think best case scenario will be Guard Break. If they add Guard Break, that completely changes the game. Because all these NAD characters that you actually want to use but can't because they don't have Guard Break, you could now use. And that's something that we kind of hyped ourselves up for when bonus abilities were first announced, and was disappointed when they weren't introduced. So I'm going to expect the worst in this case. I know I just talked about the possibility of us getting Guard Break. Maybe they're going to save that for T30, because that is now the question when they eventually decide to add that. I'm expecting just maybe 20% Bruiser, Berserker, and I literally have no idea what the third one could be. I have no idea. But even if they do add 20% Berserker and Bruiser, that's actually great for a lot of characters, because I know when it comes to NAD characters, when it comes to T20ing them, I find myself wondering, what should I put for their T20 slot? Because T15, I would put like full stam, and then T20, it's like, sure, I could put hit enemies, but if they already have it, then what do I put? You know, I think NAD characters don't have that many options in terms of like increasing their damage, like SP characters do. They have more like stuff to use compared to NAD characters, so I'm kind of hoping that NAD characters can receive a pretty decent buff here when it comes to these bonus abilities. So very curious to see what that is going to be, and again, on the live stream tomorrow morning around 12 PM my time in the UK, they will have that announcement, so looking forward to it. Exciting stuff. Next up, we have dev comment number 2, editing Guild Quest teams. Also something that has been asked for a very long time, not from me personally, but now that they've mentioned it, I'm like, you know what, that would actually be very good, and I would appreciate that. So what do we have here? So we've also received many comments about Guild Quest team editing, and are considering the following improvements. In order to lessen the burden of changing teams every time you change difficulty, we will have the Guild Quest team lineup set by difficulty. We also plan to add the ability to recall the team setup you used last time you played a Guild Quest with the same rules. This is great. So not only are they giving us the option to, 1, just press a button and recall our exact same team that we did use, which is actually very good, because I find myself, I'm not sure about you lads, I find myself forgetting what team I used. I literally have to go back in my old videos to remember what characters I was using, because sometimes you just forget. It was like 9 or so weeks ago when the new Guild Quest comes back, and sometimes you just forget, right? You just forget those things. So having a button just to recall your entire team is great. And it also saves a lot of time as well, because especially when it comes to setting up your team, you have to change the 3 characters, you've got to change your accessories or links. It does take time that just doesn't need to be there, and having that like 5-minute save every week is definitely something I would appreciate, and I can't wait to have this update in the game. At the same time too, they also do mention different teams depending on the difficulty, which is kind of nice. Because when it comes to the hard team and the normal team, for example, the normal difficulty and hard difficulty, the meta is different. It's a lot easier to nuke all 5 waves of 3 SP characters on the normal difficulty. On the hard difficulty, you have to have like T20 characters, 5 out of 5 and stuff like that. For most people out there, it's just 1 SP character and 2 NAD side lanes. So the meta is kind of different, so I do appreciate they are also adding different types of team saves for your normal difficulty and hard difficulty for those that want to do it. So pretty cool stuff, right? So yeah, another great update coming to the game potentially in early 2022, hopefully January, February time. that'll be great when it does come. Next up, and the last, or I guess the third dev comment, but pretty much the last exciting one, we have Epic Raid Schedule. When I read this, it put a smile on my face, I'm not even gonna lie. So what they have said here is that while we have received a lot of feedback for the implementation of using 5x soul tickets for Epic Raids, many players have also expressed the wish to have Epic Raids available for the second half of the month. In response to this feedback, both standard and awakened versions of the Epic Raid will be available for the entire month. For re-released Epic Raids, the standard version will be available for the first half of the month, and the awakened version will be available for the second half of the month. Thank you, Caleb. That is all we wanted. When it was actually kind of tragic how good this Epic Raid change was, with the new 5x soul tickets, the difficulty change, the reward changes, stuff like that. It was great, but then most of the improvements got overshadowed with the fact that, one, we don't have Epic Raid available for 2 weeks, and two, our orb count is now lowered, because with less Epic Raids, we have less orbs. We're basically down 300 orbs every 2 months, and with the Resurrection orb count being lowered because of the new schedule that they did in 2021, it kind of did suck, personally. And the fact that they've already addressed that they are going back to the kind of old schedule is great. Not entirely the old schedule, but it is going to be different. So for the first 1 month, so let's say in January, for example, the first half of the month is going to have the normal difficulty, and then 2 weeks later, when the normal difficulty is done, we have the awakened version, where we can then farm that for the next 2 weeks, and then when that goes away, at the start of February, we can then get a re-released Epic Raid, so we can actually get the pet and stuff like that we haven't potentially had a chance to farm yet, which is something that I think they didn't really address, because the current schedule that we have right now is that there's no schedule for them to give us a re-released Epic Raid, or an old one, for example. For those that missed out the Kenpachi pet, or any of the past pets that really want to get them, you don't have a chance to get them. And I think this is a great change in my opinion, and personally I'm very excited for this. And if they don't change the rewards, we're now getting significantly more rewards. Obviously the orb count on the 5-star ticket is now back to the usual system of like 2 months ago, 2 5-star tickets and 300 orbs every 2 months. Now we're also getting double the amount of Transcendence material, which is great. At least for the large scrolls. I think we need more small and medium scrolls still. And also this does bring up the question, when are they going to finally add Transcendence Zone? Because if you don't know, the Hogaku quest where you can farm Hogakus hasn't been seen for like the last 2 or 3 months, which does suck. And it kind of sucked now, most importantly, because we are now showered with a lot of material to transcend our characters, and if you don't have the Hogakus, then you can't transcend them. So it's kind of weird how they haven't brought that back. But maybe they have something planned for like the end of the year where we can get Hogakus from another different place. Who knows? Then they also mentioned here that they will continue to consider the adjustment of the duration and timing of the Epic Raids for the best possible balance, and we are also considering a system whereby multiple Epic Raids will not be available at the same time in order to avoid situations where it's difficult to find or form a room. Which, yeah, is understandable. So that pretty much covers the 3 most important dev comments. The first one, bonus abilities. The second one, guild quest team. And then third one, Epic Raid scheduling. Very exciting stuff, and 3 very good quality life updates that we've been asking for a very, very long time. Well, not most of the bonus abilities, but sure, if they're good skills, then I'm not going to complain. And then lastly, they do mention in dev comment 4 that we have some issues regarding the updates have been resolved for version 13.6.1. There are still more issues that have not been resolved in this update and are still under investigation/correction. We have sent out the compensation, so please open your game to collect it. For those wondering, the compensation is like 50 orbs. It's decent, but for like the amount, especially like 50 orbs was good if they fixed it in a week. If they fixed it in a week, I would take 50 orbs. Now for me, I haven't had any problem with the game, literally, like besides the first week when stuff loaded in slowly, my game has been completely fine. For other people, the game has been unplayable, they can't even log into their accounts, and it's taken them like a month or so to almost fix this, and they still haven't even fully fixed it. So having 50 orbs just for that kind of sucks, but there are still things they need to fix. Maybe we could get more compensation. I feel like realistically like 100 plus orbs should have been like what we should have gotten, but at the same time it's K-Lab and normally they get 5 orbs, so 50 orbs is better than 5, so I'm a bit indifferent on that. But yeah, I definitely want to appreciate more orbs, especially for those that haven't been able to play the game for like the last 4 weeks. That said though, that was this month's dev comments. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Let me know what you were most excited about. For me personally, it was the Epic Raid schedule. Bonus abilities was a close second, because I'm kind of curious to see what they are going to be, but also that can be very disappointing if the skills aren't that good. But the Epic Raid schedule pretty much solves all the problems that we had with Epic Raids, and Epic Raid is now perfect. That said, hope you guys did enjoy the video. I'll see you guys next time, which will be later today. Peace.